to see you again. Hey, over the years in Art Attack, haven't we done some good things together? So I thought today we'd start with a load of old rubbish. But then we'll recycle it into a beautiful work of art. And watch as an amazing sculpture comes to a fiery end. And how to make print pictures without printing a thing. Hey, have you got some secret things that you want to hide? You know, like love letters, a diary, or even your pocket money stash. Well, what you need to do is make them disappear. Put them in a disappearing box. Watch this. Here's my pocket money stash. And look at this. Gone. Good, isn't it? How's about a secret diary? Look at that. No problem. Or some love letters. Gone. Good, isn't it? So no one will find your stuff and only you know where it's gone. Simple to make in 4 easy parts. A 4-part attack. First, you need to find a box with a lid. Now, one of these washing powder boxes is perfect. And you need to cut a hole in the front of the box, so draw a guideline a couple of centimetres in from the edge. Now, you could use a ruler for this. And the idea is to cut this whole section out. So that'll go. Whenever you need to cut something out from the middle of your artwork, just make a hole with a sharp pencil into some modelling clay. This way, you can get your scissors in easily and make cutting out a lot easier. Next, make this hole into a window. So you need to find some see-through plastic packaging like this lid, or you could even buy plastic sheets from stationers and cut one to size. Then, tape it into position across the hole. Now, it's still an ordinary box at the moment, see? But here comes the secret. So look, if there's anyone nearby, a brother or sister, that you don't want to know the secret, get rid of them now. Gone? Right, here we go. The secret is mirror card. Now, to get it to fit your box, you need to measure the front of your box to get the width of the card, and then diagonally across the side of your box to get the length of your card. Then take your measurements and cut your card to size. Then place it into the box with this bottom edge at the back of the box, like that, and then lean it forward. So that's the secret. When you put things in this section, behind the mirror card, you can't see a thing through the window. But to make the illusion even more convincing, distract the eye even more by decorating the inside of your box. So first of all, remove your mirror card. Then draw around the bottom of the box onto some paper, and to get the right size, cut it out slightly inside the line. And when you've cut it out, design your pattern. Now, a symmetrical or repetitive pattern is best, like stripes, as it'll disguise the mirror better. Avoid words or numbers because they'll reflect backwards and spoil the secret. Then, colour in your design and glue it into position on the bottom. So on goes the glue, and in it goes. And do exactly the same for all the sides to your box. And when you finish decorating all the sides to your box, you'll have something that looks like this. And when you pop the mirror card back in, look at that. You'd never know it was there, and the illusion is complete. Well, almost. It still needs some finishing touches. So decorate it any way you like. This one's going to have a wooden chest effect, so I'm starting with some light brown. And when it's dry, paint on some wood grain in a darker shade of brown, and add on some hinges and gold pen detail. And when it's completely finished, here it is. Looks good, doesn't it? And everything you put into the disappearing box seems to disappear. Look at that. Gone. 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 So not only is it a great magic trick, it's perfect for making your secrets disappear, and to nosy snoopers, it just looks as if it's an empty box. Try it yourself, a secret box. Right, time for a big art attack. Here's my stuff. See if you can guess what it's going to be. And don't worry, I'll give you a few clues along the way. Here's a clever way of creating a really great-looking print without actually doing any printing at all. And here's the secret: wax crayons. Now, decide what style of print you're going to do. I'm going to do one of those old-fashioned illustration-style prints that you get in really old storybooks. And I'm going to use brown wax crayon for this. Just start by drawing a simple rectangle, slightly curved at the corners like this, because prints often have a border. Around it goes, and there like that. Now I'm going to be drawing just a simple countryside scene. Nothing too complicated and nothing too detailed. And if you keep it simple like this, it sort of looks quite old-fashioned, like in those old storybooks. Just some details on the hills here, in the distance, maybe a little village. Or just some trees dotted around in the distance there. Not too much detail, not too fiddly. And you can always make these fields look ploughed just by drawing lines on them. Look at that. And here's a good little trick. Just some sheep on the hills. Just tiny little dots. It's like sheep or cattle. Yeah. Now, I know it doesn't look much like a print yet, but just wait and see what happens. Now, you can also shade areas of your picture if you like, so that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. So let's start by shading down the edges of the tree. the branches like that, and then just around one side of those stones, the edges, and pop in a bit more detail, ploughed field, some stones on the path, and some shading on the leaves themselves. And there's your picture, but it still doesn't look like a print, does it? It hasn't even got printing ink on it. And that's because we don't use any ink. We're going to use these watercolours, and we're not going to print it on, we're simply going to paint it on, and just watch what happens. Get a load of water on your brush, here comes the paint, and as you paint your watercolour onto the picture, the wax crayon resists the paint and the lines show through. And just keep slopping your paint on, look at that. And you just paint over all of the lines and the shady areas, and you get a fantastic sort of grainy effect as the paper shows through the wax and the wax shows through the paint. And you can use any colours you like, but I'm going to use these greens and a little bit of yellow to create a real old-fashioned effect. The yellow is going to go on the sky and the lighter bits. Not bad, eh? A print without actually printing. And you can try this sort of print in lots of different styles. How about this one? Now, I've used dark reds and brown paint on this one. Or how about this sort of tropical print using black wax crayon and bright watercolours? Or even this modern block print of a city. Same technique. Try it yourself. Use wax crayon and watercolour paints to create a print without actually printing. Now, here's an amazing but very dangerous art attack for you. Robert Bradford's an artist who uses fireworks to make his magnificent sculptures go with a bang. Now, you wouldn't catch me messing around with something so dangerous, and you shouldn't either. Nah. So let's just sit back and watch the professionals do it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Someone's been busy this week, haven't they? I've had 2 sackloads of your art attacks in, and I've managed to squeeze them all into this little box. The Art Attack Gallery. Sally's picture, clearly inspired by Monet's Water Lily, is fantastic. Who would have guessed you could get such a great effect with just wax crayons? Someone should have told Monet. This funky picture is designed by Nicholas, who's been very creative on his computer. All those colourful stripes, look at that. Plays tricks with your eyes. And I love this fishy mosaic by George. I think the different coloured blue squares in the background create the impression of water. Lovely. And how's about this for recycling? Shannon's picture has been made using all natural materials like leaves and twigs that you might find in your garden. So get looking. Yeah, nice art attack, Shannon. I like the way you've recycled all that nature has thrown away. Yeah. In fact, I like to recycle lots of things that are normally thrown away. Yep, recycling, that's the name of the game. In fact, I always say you can create art out of almost anything. For example, I bet that in your house you've got a drawer somewhere that's stuffed full of old carrier bags, or a bag that they all get stuffed into when you come back from the supermarket. Me too. Well, here's an idea on how to recycle them into something beautiful. Flowers. Collect together lots of different coloured plastic bags and then pick one that's a nice colour. How about this blue? Now the idea is to draw 6 or 7 petal shapes, sort of pointy ovals like this. And then cut these out. For the centre of the flower, cut out a circle from another coloured bag. I've got this orange one. And pinch it in the middle, kind of bunching the circle up, and then hold it carefully in place with some tape. Can be fiddly, so stick with it. Then start to add on your petals. Put one in there, like that, and then another one, and hold 2 or 3 in position. I told you it was fiddly. And then add on your tape. And keep adding petals in the same way, going all the way around this centre bit until you've created a whole flower. And you could even twist a green bag into a long stalk, holding it in place with lots of tape, and stick your flower to one end like this. And just keep experimenting with different petal shapes. These white ones are more rounded and quite small, and the pink centre makes them look really delicate. And this one's really big, with a big bunch for the middle part and long thin petals, making it look quite tropical. And you can make as many as you like, just keep experimenting with different types of bags and petal shapes. And here's a good idea, if you get hold of one of these green garden sacks, you can twist it up into a thick vine, then you can tape it into place, like that, and you can then wrap your flowers around it so that you have a sort of flower decoration like that. Look at that. The ultimate recycled art, a load of old plastic bags turned into a vine of flowers. And then just drape them over everything. They look great if you use them to decorate your room or as party decorations. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!
Hi TVO kids, my name is Aksa and I like the color yellow and I love to play soccer and basketball. Happy Valentine's Day.
Week, and I'm Dr. Hart. Hey, we're gonna find out what you love.